Welcome back to Practical AutoCAD and Inventor. In this video, we'll be looking at color style tables. The color style table is one of those files that helps determine what your printed file will look like when you get done. In this video, we'll look at the color style table, we'll look at some of the existing ones that come with AutoCAD, and then I'll show you how to customize it to make it look like you want it to look. A plot style table is a file that controls how your objects will be plotted in AutoCAD. There are a few different ways to access the plot style table, but the easiest way is to just go to the plot style manager and go from there. So I'm going to go to print and then plot and then look at it right here. In this upper right hand corner, there's an option for us to choose the plot style table. Now, by default, it might be set to none, or maybe it's set to AutoCAD. But you'll see that once we get in here, we can change how it works. Let's look at this one called AutoCAD to begin with. It's the standard plot style table that comes with AutoCAD. And what it does is it creates a separate plot style table for each color in AutoCAD. So there could be up to 256 plot styles depending on how many colors you have in your drawing. Now, I've got this all set up, so if I choose preview right now, you'll see that all of the colors inside of AutoCAD or inside this drawing are just represented with their actual color, and that's not really acceptable for most drawings. In fact, most drawings are going to be plotted black and white, but you might have some times when you want to have some things as colors or shades of gray. So in order to modify that plot style table or to create a new one, what you're going to do is you're going to come over to this button right here where it says edit that plot style table. So I'll choose the edit one. And what I can do now is I can come in and I can make changes to it. Before I make any changes, let's kind of take a look at how this table is set up. There's three tabs: General, Table View, and Form View. The General one just allows me to come in and basically give a description of it. That way, if I ever use it again or if I share it with somebody, they can have an idea of what it is. The table view and the form view are basically the same information with just a different layout. You'll see in the form view there's color 1, color 2, color 3, color 4, and so on, all the way down here to 255. On the other hand, if I go to form view, you'll see that they're color 1, color 2, color 3, color 4, and so on, all the way over to 255. All the information is still here, it's just how it's displayed here or here. So, for example, if I click on color 1, for color 1, the first style table that it would create is it's going to print anything that's color 1 or red as the object color, and it will change any of these other things as indicated. So dithering is on, grayscale is off, meaning it's going to just be the color. The pin number and the virtual pin number are automatic. These are kind of holdovers from the old days when there was actually pin plotters where I would pick up a pin and drag it around on a piece of paper. Screening has to do with how intense the color is going to be. You can change the line type. For anything that's red, I could make it any one of these line types regardless of what it shows up as on the screen. Don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. You can change it so that it's adaptive. You can change the line weights and so on. Most people, however, don't want to do any of these things. They just want all of these colors to be something besides their object color. So for example, I could say I want color 1, instead of being red, I want it to be black, right? And then I want color 2, instead of it being yellow, I want it to be black. And that would be a drag if I had to go in through and change all of those. So what I would suggest you could do is you could come in here and choose color number 1 and then scroll all the way down to wherever you want to stop. I'm going to stop at 249. I did a shift click and you'll notice that it picked every color between color number 1 and 249. And I want all of those to be black as well. So now these are all black, but numbers 250, 251, 252, 253, 254, and 255 are their object colors. And it just happens to be that those are the shades of gray that show up on the on the layers dialog box, which I'll show you in just a minute. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, okay, save and close. Oh, and I changed my AutoCAD, which I didn't want to do. So actually what I need to do is choose Save As here. And then instead of choosing Save As, I'm going to give it a different name. So I'll call this maybe like All Black. Now, when you're creating this CTB file, the color dependent style table, it is one of those rare files that is case sensitive. So there's a difference between me calling this all black with all capital letters, or all black with all lowercase letters, or all black with title case, or whatever. You got to make sure that you pay attention to that. So I'll choose Save there. And notice now that I have this all black.ctb. I'll save and close. And then now when I preview it, I've set that all black. So all of these colors that were different colors are now going to be black, which is helpful when you're plotting things. Now, where this really comes helpful is if I come in here, for example, and I look at my layers, you see that I've got all these different layers and stuff, and they've generally got, you know, regular colors associated with them. So if I look at this, I've got green, magenta, white, and so on. But there are some colors that I may want to have as a shade of gray. For example, let's say that I wanted my plants to show up not just as green, but as a shade of gray. Well, these are my colors down here. There's 254, 255, 256, or actually the other way around, 250, 251, 54, and 5. So this one is nearly white. In fact, if I choose this one, it doesn't show up at all on a plot. And this one is almost black. But if I choose something in the middle like this and say OK, and then let's see if I come in here and let me actually make sure I get the right one. That one is, it's actually the shrub layer. So I'm going to change that one as well to that 256 or 253, say OK. Notice that they all change here. But when I go back to my plot preview, notice now that, oops, I need to choose my all black, and then preview. Notice now that they are not the dark black that they were, but they're the shades of gray. So they don't show up quite as much as they did before, which allows you to take some emphasis off of those objects and say, hey, this isn't the important part of the drawing, it's there, and so on. Again, I could do the same thing with the trees. So if I come back in here, for example, and I look at my trees, I'll say, okay, here's my tree layer. I'm going to make those, instead of making them green, I'm also going to make those some really light color like that, shade of gray. So I've just made that change there. Notice that they do change here, but the most important thing, again, is when I choose that all black here and preview it, then now, again, the black lines will be black, but the gray lines, they won't be quite as intense. So you're taking a little bit of the impression off of those, the emphasis off of those. And creating that color style table is a great way of saving that information so that you don't have to use it over and over again. Finally, that CTB color style table can be shared from computer to computer, and you just have to import it and put it in the same place that your other CTB files are, or if you're a little bit more advanced, you can go into the options dialog box and tell it where to look for it. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions about color style tables, give me a message and I'll help you out. Thanks for watching.